Right, what is up, everybody? So this is, I've been posting about it on obviously all my social media about going sort of one down on the front sprocket. So that is what. Front sprocket, so that is what this is. But this is going to be obviously, there's going to be like 4 parts to it. So there's going to be a part showing the 0 to 60 if there's any difference. I mean, I would have thought there may be a tiny difference, but it's just something to do a comparison on. But of course, at first I want to show the difference it makes. I know obviously everybody knows how, or after a while of riding their bike, they've got the same one, they know the gearing. You know, they know how fast it will go in 20 or in second gear, sorry, in first gear and all that rubbish. But the point is, mainly as well, is to show the difference it made on my bike, because then you get a little bit of a base for the type of things it could do to yours. So I mean, yeah, the initial idea of this video, is to show the difference it's going to make to each gear from standard. So obviously, I don't know what gear I'm in. I'm going to have to do it in a minute when I come off of this bit. I'm in the wrong lane actually. And for everyone that says this is the A13. If you look at this sign here, it's green as well, which tells you, if it's an A road or a M road and that. What's he laying down? Look, A13, and it's got 4 lanes because they split off. Everyone argues about this in one of the first few videos, and like, oh, you can't go on the A13 or the whatever. I can't think what they were saying, M25 that we're saying. Well, actually I can, because I've got my full licence for my age. I'm not going to get into that because it takes fucking ages. But this is the A13. But I'm actually going to collect some powder coated parts. And I've just remembered I forgot my backpack. So this is going to be even more fun because I'm going to have to stuff it down my jacket. I've only literally, just as soon as I said it, I was like, I haven't got a backpack, fuck. So that's going to be an adventure of somewhat. I don't know why they. Fuck knows, I'm going to have to go like this and then go like this. But yeah, so this is the idea, and obviously this would be a good point to compare it. Obviously, I'm going to try not to red line as such, but rev it right through. So we'll probably get about 20 in first, 25-ish, I'd say. Yeah, so about 25 in first with standard gearing. So this is the whole point of this video, is going to be the gearing side of it, what it's going to do in each gear. So about 25 in first, at 40 in second. Oh no, I forgot average speed cameras. I'm going to have to do it after this bit. But yeah, so I'm going to, I'll continue talking for a little bit, or I might just crop it out, I'll decide later. But yeah, I'm going to go collect some powder coated bits. The A2 bike is so nearly done, so nearly done, to the point where it's buy very few things, which don't cost a lot of money left to buy, sort of thing. Like the last few bits I need are not a great deal of money, and then mainly, you know, the other side of it, like MOT in it, taxing it, and insuring it, and all stuff like that, and obviously doing my test and, you know, whatever else I've got to do in between. But it's mainly just money and age, obviously. I can't do my A2 yet, so I'm on the back burner on that one, but obviously it gives me a bit of time to coop a bit of money up, so that then when I'm able to do it, I should just be able to, you know, providing I've got all the money I need, just get it done straight away, insure it, and then I'm off on my travels. So yeah, I mean, ultimately the main thing I'm waiting on is to turn 19 for my A2. So yeah, I mean, it's early next year. I don't want to go too in depth with it, because then it's gonna put a bit of a time limit on it as such. So yeah, it'll be early part of next year. And yeah, and you'll see the bike. I'll do a big reveal as always. I'm probably going to have to do I'm definitely going to have to do a new intro. I can't have this little beast as my intro all the time when I'm on a completely different bike. But to be fair, I'm going to keep this bike. A lot of people have asked that. Are you going to sell it? What are you going to do with it? You know, it's battered and bruised, and realistically, it's worth me keeping for a backup bike. For, you know, days like this. Not that I don't feel confident riding a bigger bike in the wet, or you know, icy, or you don't even try riding on ice. But you know what I mean, like shitty, salty, roady days. You know, a nice bike that I've spent a lot of money on. You know, getting it to look how it does. I don't ideally want to ride it around in shit weather and, you know, get stone chips on it. And I know stuff like that happens, but, you know, when and where possible to avoid it, why wouldn't you, you know? So a lot of people say that, I mean, I'll ride in all kinds of weather because I purely got no other option. You know, it's not the fact that I'm scared of it or all this, you know, like people are like, oh, you're not a real biker if you don't ride in the rain and all this stuff, which is, it's fair enough. You do learn a lot of stuff, and you know, you have to have a certain degree of experience to just jump on the bike in the wet, because there's just more things you've got to take into consideration, and it's where a lot of people crash for the first time. It's where I crashed for the first time. So you know, you learn from stuff like that. But if I had a car, I wouldn't ride in the rain. What's the point? Why would you? Why would you put yourself at more risk? And get, you know, a bit cold and a bit wet when you could just jump in your car. You know, it just makes sense. So I agree with that to a degree, but you know, if you've got a car, you're not typically, unless other things, you know, change that. You're not gonna ride a bike. Right, so I think we're in third. So that's 40. About 55 full. About 70 and 5th. Oh, there's going to be a roundabout coming up any moment now. Yep, there it is. Give myself a bit extra stopping distance when it rains, because you can't stop quick and. I think I'm going the right way. Yeah, this looks about right. So, 40 and 3rd, 55 and 4th. About just under 70 and 5th. And 6th will probably push me up to about, I don't know, actually, that might even be 4th. I'm not even sure. I need to, right, so that's neutral. First, 25. Second, 40. Third, 55. So it's 4th. 70. Yeah, then they're 6th. So yeah, I mean, I know from personal experience, my old engine used to redline in 6th gear at 95. I'd say this would probably redline a touch sooner. Or no. Yeah, no, it will. I'd say it redline at like 93-ish, like a touch sooner. This is Canby Industrial Estate, and I always get fucking lost. So the next bit you'll see is a 0 to 60 with this gearing, and so on and so forth. So enjoy the next clip. So this is the stock gearing. Obviously I should expect very similar times to the last time I did, but obviously I've been riding this bike a hell of a lot longer since then. No, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean though. So maybe I'm better at launching and changing gear excessively or aggressively. We'll soon find out. It isn't really going to matter exactly where I start because I'm just going to obviously go off the time that I pull away as best I can. So yeah, I'm going to give it 3 attempts. That should give me a good base to run off of my 0 to 60 with stock gearing. So get myself to the bite. So it's dragging a bit. If I'm going to do a race start, I'll just fuck it. I'll do like oh fuck it. I'll just fucking rev the cunt out of it when I'm ready to go. Right, 3, 2, 1. That's it. I think next time I'm going to close my visor because my eyes are fucking streaming. But I don't think that was a bad run. What the fuck that car's doing. But yeah, attempt number 2, stock gearing again. Obviously it'll be back to back with the other one, so you know it's still stock gearing. But yeah, the plan is do this a couple of times, like I said 3 times, and I'll probably go and put the other gear or the other sprocket on, and then yeah, compare it. Right, same as last one. I think it was about 2k on the bike, so it's sort of pulling me. Oh, maybe no, it's 2k. Must be 2k. Fuck knows. I don't remember. Maybe let's just go 3. It's a good base to run off. Right, 3, 2, 1. People say it doesn't lift him first. It does take up the trouble in the fucking suspension though. That's it. I'm more paranoid about someone fucking opening their door on their car and just fucking wiping me clean out. My Mod 1 U-turn skills are on point without back brake. Someone commented as well on the actual my first 0 to 60 video. I should a bit of back brake. Fucking snatcher on the clutch, fuck it. Yeah, that was on the wrong side of the road. It's because there's cars there. I don't want to get wiped out by a door. Right, so 3k again on the bite. 3, 2, 3. No, I'm trying to get it there. I can't hold it. 3, 2, 1. That's it. I think it's literally around about the same looks. To me, when I'm passing the cars, it looks like I'm passing the same car almost every time I hit 60, or there or thereabouts. So this is the first gear. It's about the 20-mile-an-hour mark. Starting to red line a bit there. So we're in second now. Big bump. Second, just under 40. I'd say like 40. What was that? 48 maybe, something silly like that. Third is 50. Without being too nitpicky. 4th is 60. 5th I know is about 70, so I remember. And I've passed a couple of times I've done it. So, yep, 70. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to get it to pull much more because this engine's a little bit less puffy. But yeah, it's just it's subtle differences. But like I said, I don't really care about the top end anymore. I very rarely ever go to 90, 95 miles an hour. It struggles to do more than 70 without the baffle, and I've been told off by Mr. Plod a couple of times on the way in. Way into Southend and stuff like that on the way out. They seem to put up a lot of fucking traffic, whatever you call them, like traffic enforcement officers at this time of year. So they keep fucking telling me off for having the baffle out. Understandably so. but you know, it does make a difference to people that aren't paying attention. And it does make about a 10 mile an hour difference when you sit and bolt upright. Sorry, bloody hell. My old engine used to pull 80 easily without the baffle in, sitting bolt upright. This one is a little bit slower, like I've said before, but without the baffle, it does make a difference not having the baffle in. And you know, it's just subtle things. It's such a small bike, you know, like obviously small little things make a big difference to it. You know, like a couple of extra brake horsepower from an exhaust system, you know, you're up in the power of the bike by like 30-40%, you know. Obviously you've got these big thousands, and you know, you put an exhaust system on them, you give them like 10 extra horsepower, 15 extra horsepower. That's like the whole amount of horsepower of this whole bike, you know. So the small little things you do to it make a fucking massive difference. Like, you know, front sprocket, obviously, it's only got 15 teeth anyway, so you think about the ratio when you take one tooth off. It's a big difference. I mean, obviously, you're looking at about 15 teeth on any bike on the front sprocket anyway. There or thereabouts, you know, there isn't a massive difference, but you get the point, you know. On a smaller bike, small things make the world of fucking difference. They really, really do. So, you know, like I said, if you're not too fussed about top end, if you're not too fussed about top end, you know, I'm talking like 5-10 miles an hour, if your bike even does that, because a lot of people say theirs struggles to do that. A lot of bikes are geared 10-15%-ish, I think, on the top of my head, higher than they will do on a flat road, realistically speaking. So, you know, all you're really doing is, you know, instead of having 10-15 mile an hour more in terms of like what the bike could do with what RPMs it's got left, you're going to reduce that down to what, 5 mile an hour difference between, you know, redlining and not redlining. But you're going to get a chunk more acceleration. Well, I mean, you'll see the differences made obviously in the video. You know, decide if it's worth that. I mean, obviously on bigger bikes you're going to fall to play around with the gearing a lot more, because you know, you've got so much top end anyway, and so much acceleration that you can really play around with it. You know, if I went -2 on this, it'd probably only do like 65 miles an hour. You know, but you could do things like that to bigger bikes, or you know, go 2 up on the back as well, or a couple up on the back, because it's got so much top end. You know, 140-150 miles an hour for a 600. You can drop that down to like 130 or whatever, and you're gonna accelerate so much harder. So people do for track. But like I said, obviously on something like this, you're not gonna go that mad on it, because it's just gonna drop this top end down to the point where you're not gonna be able to actually cope with the road, you know, with other traffic. Sorry, on like, you know, A roads and motorways, if you go on motorways, if you've got the license for it. But you know, obviously like me, I use the A127 and the A13 all the time, going in and out of London and Southend and fucking everywhere, to be fair. So I need to be able to at least pull 60 miles an hour, pull 70. I mean, I know you can stay in the left-hand lane and you do like 50 or whatever, but you know, I like to have that little bit extra in reserve. So I know for a fact this pulls 70 without any quibble. And if I tuck, you know, as always, it'll probably stretch itself to 80. But basically, when I first rode it, sort of very briefly, out of my sort of residential parking area, should we say, I sort of went obviously all the way in first, and it didn't feel much different. And then I got out on the main road, and you could feel a difference. It just feels so much more snappy, and it almost feels like it just has a lot more grunt in the higher RPMs. You'd usually feel them like flatten out at about, say, 8k or whatever, but it just seems to have a bit more potency all the way through. It certainly feels ever so slightly quicker, and it's a bit more fun. I'm trying to go for the same, obviously the same before, so get it at the bite, have it about 3k. It's not really the way I usually launch. To be fair, I just usually hold it at the bite and then just rev the cunt out of it and dump it. I don't even know, to be fair. You just do it, I guess, without even thinking about it. But I'm trying to set this one up to be identical so that there's no differences, as best as I can. So that's my plan anyway. Trying to work out what the cars are doing. So yeah, just give it a shot basically. I think there'll be a slight difference. I'm hoping there will be. As I said, it still hits about 80 in 6th, but it does about 70 in 5th, which used to do it in 3rd or 4th even, whatever. You know what I mean? Or you'll know what I mean shortly. Right. 3. 3. That was good timing. 3, 2. Oh, well, wait, actually, because there's loads of cars. And they're not going to be trying to do 0 to 60, and I'll fucking end up ploughing into one of them. Right. Sit. And a couple of clutch slips there. Bike smells really oily as well. I've done an oil change, so it's some of it's on the exhaust, like the downpipe, so you can just smell the burning oil smell. It smells horrible. I haven't got any brake cleaner. It's really good. That's a really good tip as well. Brake cleaner just gets anything off. And it obviously exhaust on downpipes and stuff like that, so it doesn't smell after, obviously from it, which is a good idea, but I didn't have any, so I couldn't do it. Right, yeah, that was a bit of a bad start, that one, so let's give it another go. I'm trying to get it as close to the other launches as possible, so that there's not much of a difference between. Try clutchless shifting maybe. And I'm trying to avoid full tuck as well. That's it. It must be quicker. It must be fractionally quicker, maybe by like a second. I mean, to be fair, I was expecting a little bit more of a potent, it to be a little bit more potent, sorry, a little bit more noticeable at least. I mean, to be fair, like I said, I'm probably going to keep it like this. It's a little, oh, fuck, nearly. Full lock, or opposite lock even. It's not that lost that much top end for it to bother me, because I don't really need it for top end anymore. So yeah, that doesn't bother me at all, and it's more fun like this, roasting all this fucking textiles. Must be fractionally quicker. I'm hoping it is anyway. But like I said, it just seems like more fun. But to be fair, like I said, I've been out on it just quickly to get fuel. And I still pulled 80 and a bit in 6th, and I was probably fairly close to the limiter. The only noticeable difference is I used to get just under 70 or pretty much 70 in 4th. Now I only get that in about 5th, so it has dropped it. There's a less of a difference in the lower gears, but obviously as you go higher and higher up through the gears, the difference it makes increases by a fair amount. So that's the little notices that or the little bits that I've seen at the moment. But I'll have a